Hello and welcome to my video where I'm going to show you how to do the purl cast on, which is the purl version of the knitted cast on from my last video. So where in the knit cast on you have the smooth cast on edge facing towards you when you cast on, in the purl version that's facing away from you. The resulting cast on edge that you get when you do the purl cast on is the reverse of what you get when you do the knit cast on, and it's really personal preference which one you choose to use. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is tie a slip knot about 10 inches or so from the end of the yarn. Then put this knot onto a knitting needle and tighten. Ideally, you'll already know how to do a purl stitch because that will make this technique a lot easier for you. So make sure your working yarn is in front of the needles towards you. Then take your other knitting needle down through that slip knot and cross it in front of the other needle. Wrap your working yarn around the right hand needle point. Then hook this strand of yarn with your needle point as you take it to the back. It's at this point that you stop following the steps of a purl stitch and instead pull the stitch out a little to loosen it, and then hook that stitch over the point of the left hand needle and tighten. And that's it, you've now cast on a stitch and you just need to repeat this process. So take your right hand needle down through the top stitch and cross. Wrap the working yarn around the right hand needle point. Take this point and the strand of yarn to the back. Pull the needle out a little bit to loosen the stitch and hook this stitch over the left hand needle point. And again, so take your right hand needle down through the top stitch and cross it in front. Wrap your working yarn around the point and take the point to the back. Pull the needle away to loosen the stitch a little bit and then hook that stitch over the left hand needle point. And just repeat that over and over. And here is the effect of this cast on. The bumpy side of the edge, which is created with purl bumps, is facing towards you, and the smooth side, which has little diagonal yarn strands, is away from you. In the knitted cast on, this effect is reversed, and it's actually the smooth side that faces towards you. Next, I'm going to talk about whether it makes a difference which way you hook the stitch over the left hand needle point. As you can see, when you hook that stitch over the left hand needle point, the needle points are facing towards each other. You might wonder if this direction matters and if instead you can have the needle points facing in the same direction. And the answer is yes, it does make a difference. Here is a comparison where on the right hand side I had the needle points facing in the same direction, and on the left I had the needle points facing towards each other, which is what I demonstrate in this video. You'll see that on the right hand side there are little holes above the cast on edge, whereas on the left there aren't, and I just think that looks a lot neater. And one more thing to note about this method is that you can make it even quicker. And to do this, you just don't remove the needle from the stitch at any point. So as usual, you take your needle down through the top stitch and cross. Wrap the working yarn and take the needle to the back. But when you hook that stitch over the left hand needle point, you need to make sure that the right hand needle stays in front of the left, like so. And now you are ready in position to start the next stitch. So wrap the working yarn, take the needle to the back, and hook the stitch over the needle point, making sure that the right hand needle stays in front. And you just keep repeating that process. So you just wrap the working yarn, take the right hand needle to the back, and hook that stitch over the needle point, making sure the right hand needle stays in front. So as you can see in this quicker method, you don't remove or insert the needle at any point. It just remains within the stitch. However, if I just take the needle out, you can see a slight problem with this faster method. You can see at the beginning, I was taking the needle out of the stitches when I was creating them, but as soon as I made the stitches without removing the needle, the stitches became too loose. So if you want to do this faster method, what I would recommend is that you just keep an eye on the tension. So every time you get to the starting position again, you just pull on the yarn to tighten it. So tighten the yarn at this point, and this point, and this point, and so on. And as you can see, that corrects the tension. And that's it, that's how you do the purl cast on. I really hope you found this useful, and thank you very much for watching.